One of the most common challenges you face when you transition from school to university, and especially if you're doing that university abroad or in a space that you don't call home, is to be able to find a space to own, a space to feel yourself, and a space where you will not be judged for who you are because you're already trying to assimilate into a culture that is completely different from the ones that you've known over the years. And that's a problem that my next guest on Karishma Connect seeks to solve and has managed to quite definitely over the past couple of years through their platform called University Living. I've got the co founder and COO Mayank Maheshwari talking to me about his creation and that of his partner, how they met, what bolstered them to kind of start this process, and how did they navigate that journey. What have they done? What kind of impact they have been able to generate by giving so many young professionals and budding students of universities a chance to find their comfort zone seamlessly and get to network with people much before they have even arrived in their location of study. So go check out the episode. It's informative. You get to know about a platform that you might not have known about and would definitely help you if you're looking for university living. Quite like the name. And until the next one, stay tuned. I'll be back every Sunday and Thursday. This is Karishma. You're tuned into Karishma Connect across platforms. Tata. It's a pleasure to have you. I wish I would have done this episode when I was going to university because I would have had much more support back then. But I'm happy to provide a platform where people can find out more about what you do and leverage this amazing opportunity to make the home finding journey easier when they're going abroad.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And happy to share the journey and educate the people and so that everyone, whoever is planning to find their right home, can make informed decisions.
Most welcome. To begin with, Mayank, the first question I have is exactly what you just told me. Tell me about that journey. Tell me about how you started, where you are today, what's so special about it. And then, of course, do tell me about University Living as the platform as well.
Sure. So I would start with myself. I've uh, I hail from a small town in UP.
Hmm.
It's called Mirapur, which
Hmm.
is near Meerut and district Muzaffarnagar.
Okay.
Um, and then, because of the small village, my parents decided that, it's not the right place to study with the limited resources. So they sent me to Delhi to stay with my uncle.
Yeah.
And that was when I was in third class. So
Okay.
from third, I came to Delhi and I did my schooling from DAV Public School, Vasant Kunj.
Okay.
Studied from here and then did my graduation from Delhi University. So in Delhi University, met my business partner, friend,
Hmm.
uh, and since then we've been together. Completing when I completed my graduation, I started my professional journey. So I started with BPO sector. I
Okay.
worked for almost 3 years, and then I decided that I want to do something different and I want to change my line as well.
Hmm.
So at that junction, I decided to do my MBA from United Kingdom, UK.
Okay.
So I went in 2010, uh, February. It
Hmm.
was a January date to Northampton University, and
Hmm.
I think the journey actually started. The real pain point started.
Yeah.
So got an admission with the help of a counselor. They did amazing to get me an admission,
Huh.
but it was very last minute. And then I asked that, can you tell me where I'm going to stay?
Yeah.
And she said that you can find at probably university halls,
Huh.
and else there would be so many houses. So I was clueless. It was 2010, very very limited
Yeah.
social media presence. I think at that point of time, Orkut, it was an Orkut
Yes.
era
Yes.
from from social media side of it. So completely dependent on my counselor.
Yeah.
And because it was very last minute, only 10 days left to travel. Um, I asked her that if you can help me to get an accommodation at university halls. So
Hmm.
it was not a regular intake because September becomes a major intake.
Hmm.
So after 2 days, I was in hope that I will get it because counselor said. But after 3 days, I got a reply: all halls are full.
Oh. Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, where I'm going to stay now?
Yeah.
So I asked her that if she can help me to any help if she can offer. So she said that okay, let me help you to connect with my one of my student which I sent last year. Probably he can help.
Hmm.
And I connected, and he said, yes, yes, come over. I'll help you.
Ah.
Uh, when so finally, in a hope that I will be getting some accommodation, and at least I'm being connected with my senior, all my alumni
Hmm.
from university. But when I went there, I mean, I was on my own,
Hmm.
and he said that it was such a short notice,
Yeah.
and couldn't able to offer the help.
Hmm.
So it was a roller coaster ride to in as traveling first time outside India,
Yes. Very true. Yeah.
a new city,
Yeah.
figured out how to even reach from airport to Northampton.
Hmm.
Landed in the 7 in the evening.
Yeah.
I also informed my counselor that because it's a last minute, I don't know how to reach even there. Can you arrange a taxi? Can you ask university to arrange a taxi for me? She said yes, it's done.
Hmm.
And I waited at the airport. There was no one.
Hmm. Hmm.
So spend actually the night at airport
Hmm.
because don't know where to go, how to reach to Northampton. So next morning reach Northampton, and um, there is no place to stay. So I requested university that at least temporary, if they can help me.
Hmm.
So luckily they have a temporary guest house. They said that it's only available for 5 days. You
Hmm.
need to figure out your accommodation in 5 days, and if you're not, you have to leave.
Hmm. Hmm.
So um, just imagine,
The
first time traveler to a new city, to a new country,
yeah.
no idea how things going to be.
Crazy.
And uh, and it was early orientation days at the university, so those were very important days. But in my head, it was all about accommodation, where I'm going to stay, whom I'm going to live with, how I'm going to find it. So whatever
Language
was
barrier. It's so difficult to connect. Language barrier, cultural barriers to bridge all of them and then find.
absolutely. And because it's there on your face, so everyone tries to take an advantage.
Yeah.
I
Very
mean,
true.
if the room, if it's costing 600 pounds a month, they will ask 800 pounds.
Yes.
And whatever was coming on to as an option was like, okay, just grab it, but without getting into the details. Will it be a safe at night or
Yeah.
in the evening?
Yeah.
Whether there's any rules and regulations, is there any hidden cost or not? So initially 1 month was I would say very struggling to find the home.
Mm.
Luckily, you know got some help with some of the references. So stayed in kind of a over there they call it as a homestays. So like
Mm.
in India, PGs. So
Yeah.
it was old, British couple.
Mm.
Again, a major culture shock.
Yeah.
Uh, Not a very pleasant experience. So decided to move out just after a month.
Mm. Mm.
And till that time, somehow know some people in the class and then in university. So decided to rent out an apartment, mixing with 4 or 5 friends together.
Mm.
And again, initially everyone, it was a need for everyone. So
Mm.
everyone in initial 1 or 2 weeks acts very nicely,
Yeah.
and then
So
just started
true.
to
Yeah.
things started, coming, you didn't do this was on, over here the electricity is very expensive, gas is very expensive,
Yeah.
who will do the dishes, who will do this. So the whole experience was rather, focusing on the all the good things. It was a very, very terrible.
Mm.
So later on, after 6 months, yes, the or 3 months, things were much better. Know the city, make friends, like-minded people, and shifted with them.
Mm.
But those initially 1 month, 3 months were very, very bad, and that made us realize that it's a need of the art, and people should be aware about that it's a big problem,
Mm.
and there should be someone to assist
Mm.
till the time the other student check in at the property.
Right.
So same kind of situation happened with Saurabh as well, who
Mm.
went for an exchange program. He didn't got anything because of the short term stays.
Mm.
Stayed in a hotel, spent fortune. So I came back to India back in 2013,
Mm.
and uh, since then we both were associated with this student housing industry, and we thought that it's a problem to solve, and thought only Indian student would be requiring the service.
Mm.
Uh, and by thinking on those lines, we launched officially University Living in 2015.
Mm.
So as a listing platform, think keeping one goal in mind, that how we can solve the problem, how we can give that correct information to the student so
Yeah.
that they can make informed decision, and they actually get into the accommodation which are very safe and secure. They are verified, and at least they should be focusing on studies and the experience that they're going to get at the university, rather having
To
to
go through all those things.
all those unnecessary troubles.
And there's a lot of anxiety involved in that period. I know that I've been there, and you have these. It's especially, I think, day one is the most intimidating day that you face when you don't even know what to do, where to go, how to.
Absolutely. And you can't express to anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't call back at home that I'm in that trouble,
Yeah.
because of course then you are making 10 other people into that same state,
Yeah.
and you have to figure it out on your own, and with limited information, tend to make a lot of wrong decisions
Yeah.
because you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So this is how we started, and Universal Living officially started in 2015 with focusing in that only Indian student would be requiring services,
Mm.
and UK market was slightly more organized. So we started, and we both went to UK, so we have that understanding and market knowledge.
Mm.
So UK we started with first,
Mm.
and with a focusing with an asset class called PBSA, purpose built student accommodation.
Okay.
So accommodation is being built and designed by professional companies, and they ensure that all the facilities and amenities being taken care of. They are strategically located either near to the university, or to the very near to the public transport.
Mm. Mm.
All bills get inclusive.
Mm.
They're very safe and secure. There's somebody at the reception, there are guards.
Mm.
So we thought that only let's promote these accommodation, because at least it will give that
So,
safety, security, challenges will not be there. It
yeah.
will give peace of mind to the parents as well.
Yeah.
So penetrated in this segment in entire UK, followed by Australia, then Ireland, and then in the past a couple of years, we expanded to Canada, US, and European countries as well.
Okay.
So now we have evolved from a normal listing platform to we call it as a managed marketplace.
Mm.
So the student can book the accommodation from our platform.
Okay.
We have got exclusive inventories. We can help student to. We have got a team working 24/7
Okay.
to provide information to the student so that they are taking the informed decisions. And because these accommodation you need to book for 6 months, 10 months, or 12 months.
Yeah.
So somebody is booking for that long, there is a big commitment,
Yeah.
and every student will have a lot of questions. Their parents will have a lot of questions. So
Yeah.
they need that security, they need that assurance that whatever they are selecting, it's right, and they
Hmm.
will not face any challenge. Or at least if they face, they have somebody to answer and understand
Hmm.
how to deal about it.
Hmm. 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 And tell me about the process. I know you just got into it a little bit and touched on it, but I want to know step by step, how does one engage and get in touch, and what are the different tools or features that are provided by the platform to make that
Hmm.
journey easier?
Okay, so as a platform, we've been present in majorly all the educational hubs of the globe.
Okay.
So UK, Ireland, Australia, Singapore, Dubai, and then in all five main European countries like Germany, Italy, France, Portugal,
Mm,
Spain,
mm,
and Canada and US.
mm,
So, covering the visions that how we can be present in all the educational hubs all across the globe.
mm.
And once the student lands on the website, so they can search by opening universityliving.com.
Okay.
They can find on our social media handles, channels on Instagram, on YouTube, or LinkedIn for that matter. And once the student is on the website, they can search via university that they're attending or the city that they're going to, or even if their friends recommended that this property is there, they can search via property as well.
Mm,
So once they're on the listing page, student can search with various filters as per their requirements, whether they want their individual room, they want a studio, or they want a shared accommodation. And with that, they will be they check all the photographs, pictures of that property, their virtual tours available, 360-degree tours available,
interesting.
and by seeing all these, we have got a compare functionality as well, where they can compare two, three properties together at the same time. So for a student, it's more important that how close the university is,
Yeah.
um, what kind of price points that they're at, and any additional features, like there are many properties that provide gym, swimming pools, or separate study areas, etc.
Mm,
So once they see that, they select, they fill in form on our website,
mm, mm,
and there are many where we they need to pay a deposit in order to confirm the booking. So
mm.
before that, they can fill a form. It goes to our sales team. Our sales team will connect to the student.
Okay.
Whatever the questions that they will have,
Mm,
they will try to resolve it. They will answer it, and once they give a go ahead, yes, I want to book this property, we help them to pay the deposit, pay the rent, get all the documentation in place, signing up. If they need a guarantor, they need to pay in installments. So end-to-end journey till the time the accommodation is finalized.
okay. And then tell me, the most major aspect that I have noticed in this journey is the kind of culture shock that you face, especially if you're going from a completely different background. Have you seen over the years, because you've been closer to the students who have utilized this service, have you seen some sort of impact in terms of dealing with that culture shock when you go through this kind of an organized platform?
Yes, definitely. See each every year on year, every new batch. I mean, end of the day, whether it's Indian student or whether it's African, whether it's Chinese, students are this will be the student and having the similar mindset and thought process.
Yeah.
So how we deal is that we organize and attend a lot of pre-departures.
Okay.
So before traveling, we organize and we try to inform all the required information that they should be aware of,
Mm,
so that they don't get into that culture shock mode, that what to expect, what
Mm.
not to expect,
Mm.
what are the do's, what are the don'ts. We try to even share the checklist, what to pack, what not to take along. We try to create, we have a checklist where, what are the do's, what are the don'ts,
Mm.
pack, what not to take along, what to expect, or
Mm.
what needs to things that need to keep in mind, especially students travel from different culture to a different countries and different cities. So that helps. I mean, this information is we keep collecting from our team
Mm.
who does that counseling to the student, and during those before the check-in times, we organize and we participate in a lot of pre-departures to give that right information as much as to the students so that they can avoid those culture shock moments.
Yeah. And then I'm going to take you back to that time of starting up and go a little deeper into that journey now about actually coming up with a platform. I mean, I'm sure you both had this idea, how to get that idea into a physical product or service that reaches the right audience. Tell me about building that platform and then watching it evolve, like you said, from a platform into an entire marketplace. What was that like, and what have been your learnings along the way? Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So I think when we started it, we never thought that it's such a really a global play.
Yeah.
Uh, and we started thinking that only Indian students would be requiring the service. Let's just build a normal listing platform.
Yeah.
Um, but when we started, the platform, and we saw some traction happening with
Mm.
a team of two. We started thinking that how to build the effective team.
Mm.
And one of the turning points for our venture was that we there was one in back in 2017, 16 and then 17. There was a Power of Idea context used to run in India. It
Okay.
was it was an Economic Times initiative.
Okay.
So we applied in that, and they received over 500 applications or 1,000 applications in that.
Mm.
um, the 75 companies were selected
Mm.
to go in IM Ahmedabad incubator for
Okay.
2 weeks.
Okay.
So we were lucky, we were fortunate enough that we got selected,
Mm.
and we spent 2 weeks in IM Ahmedabad,
Mm.
and that actually opened the horizons.
Okay.
That actually made us think that it's a global play.
Yeah.
um, there is a lot to achieve, and it's a very big problem, and it's just not for the Indian audience. It for every nationality, every country will be facing this challenge.
Mm. Mm.
So then we started focusing on the technology, how we have to build effective solutions, how to build effective features on the website.
Mm.
And then we realized, then um, when we on organically started ranking on the Googles, and we started spending, so we saw that we get more traffic from international students versus the
Mm.
Indian students.
Mm.
And that gave us more confidence
Yeah.
that yes, we are going in the right direction. And then the focus was that how we can build more effective team, how we can build more effective processes,
Mm.
keeping one thing in mind, that the student come first.
Yeah.
So with focusing on the student experience, student journey, we added a lot of other services to now into our platform. Earlier it was pure accommodation. Now we added flight tickets, remittance,
Okay.
insurance,
Mm.
room essentials,
Mm.
airport pickups. So and it was more coming from the feedbacks from the student.
Mm. Mm.
So we keep interacting with the students, that how we can improve, what their actually need is, because with our experience, 10 years back, it may not be the same now.
Yeah.
So lot of things to implement. So idea is that how we can be with them with their journey, even they're staying in the accommodation, so that we can make their entire process seamless and better experience for the student.
And how did you go about sourcing those partners? Because it's a marketplace, right? I'm assuming that you're partnering and you're getting all these because you're also dealing with a global platform. So, from a business model perspective, how did you kind of work that around, navigate that?
So, yeah, very good question. I think it was that is the the mode for us,
Mm,
getting the right supplier, right partners.
mm.
So, as I said, that we focused on those initially, PBSA's provider.
Yeah.
So from there it was because we started from there, and it was more of fleet on the street as well.
Mm,
Initially, for 2 3 years we were traveling from one country to another,
mm,
verifying this, checking this,
mm,
and once we believe in that partner, then whatever they're adding the stock, it get stock added to our website platform.
mm,
So it gives that expansion horizon
mm,
with choosing the right partner,
mm, mm,
and then expanding into the different geographies.
mm,
And then slowly we added a couple of people on the ground, hired few people in those countries to ensure that we are actually selecting the right properties for the students, so that their experience should not go for a toss.
mm.
And
And
and technology also played a very important role. I
yeah.
mean, with the um, getting those live viewings,
Mm,
the arranging those video virtual tour calls, and then getting those verified via the technological integrations
mm,
that help us to strengthen our supply. So with majority of the partners, there's a seamless technology integration that we have done over different countries.
mm. And how did you survive the pandemic with this entire
It was, of course, it was directly impacted. That we all know how the travel industry suffered.
Yeah.
But I think,
My question
uh,
to you is more focused around it's not just about pandemic and the business. My question to you is more focused around how did you deal with risk in that? How did you become more risk averse and how can people, become like that?
right. So I think with pandemic and just before pandemic, that was our strategy as well. That how we can expand to different geographies, different countries faster,
Mm,
because one country changing an international education policy
mm.
can cut you off or
Yeah,
run out of the business.
yeah.
So we were conscious enough that how quickly we can target different geographies,
Mm,
and because of that only we survived pandemic. And
mm,
not only survived, we thrived actually during pandemic, because we knew that there are some countries like Australia was completely shut down their borders for 2 years, three
mm.
years. There was no business.
Yes.
But but with UK, Ireland, and some European countries, there was movement.
Mm,
And rather focusing on international student, we focused on their local domestic students.
mm, mm,
A student moving from Birmingham to Glasgow
mm,
was our potential student,
mm.
and there was no restriction within those countries.
Yeah.
So we changed our go-to-market strategy. We focused on the domestic reach within that market,
Mm.
and that's how we thrive during the pandemic time.
That's interesting because you kind of adapted to the situation and expanded yourself. My second last question to you is, Mayank, tell me what should students prioritize? Maybe the three things that they should prioritize when they are looking for an accommodation abroad or any kind of service abroad.
I think the first primemost thing is the safety and security,
Hmm.
because you're as a student, majority of them are the first time traveler. And lot of students, and it comes very natural that you can only save your cost by optimizing your rent.
Yeah.
uh, you can find some cheaper places. You can't negotiate on the tuition fee.
Yeah.
So, but in virtue of that, students don't realize that where they're going to stay. If I'm if I may save probably 100 or $200 a week, but I might spending 2 hours in traveling,
Yeah.
and that place might be very unsecure.
Yeah.
You might get mugged up on the very second day, the
Yeah.
whatever the savings that you have got.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is very, very important to choose the right location. Um, and if your location is right, then a lot of opportunities automatically open.
Very true.
A lot of students work part-time. So if you are centrally located, you will have more part-time opportunities. You will be able to commute much faster to the university. You will be staying with the like-minded people, or with your own set of students. So choosing an accommodation is a very, very important task for any international student, because that makes their experience best, and versus the other way around. So the second thing is that what facilities and amenities that you require, because these days, there are a lot of scams also happen,
Yeah.
that whether bills needs to be included, whether bills not to be included, whom you are selecting. So choosing the right partner, or the brand, is also very important. um and the third thing is that uh, what kind of the aspect of the social and environment that those provider is providing. So there are many like what how we compare these accommodation is versus the university accommodation, that they are the advanced version of the university halls. So getting into the right accommodation gives open your network, open open your the reach to other university students as well. So I would say choosing the location, the brand, and the facilities and amenities are the major ones.
And this one's a tricky one, but I'm going to ask you in one sentence, tell me what's your hack to just starting up or owning a business, and especially, and you can even keep it, tell me about co-founding it, because I've heard from many founders on the show that doing a finding something by yourself is a different experience, and co-founding something is a whole lot different. Some of them are recently I was also interviewing somebody who told me that the best way to do it is by finding somebody who's better than you at something, or something that you lack the other. So tell me about your views on that.
So yes, it's a tricky one. I think what keeps us on the toes, and how we as both founders are always striving, is that keeping one goal in mind, that how to make student experience better, and that keeps us going, that keeps us passionate, that how we need to make the journey better, how we are listening to our customers, how we are listening to the parents, how we are listening to the universities, how we are listening to our educational counselors, and taking the feedback, and then working on to make things better and better. So focus is very, very important. And we know that we already know that we are solving one a known problem, a big problem, how we can make it better for the students. And with this in this era, there's so much of information now with it. So to access the right information, and implementing it is what that matters. Now these days, everyone will have so many ideas,
Hmm.
but to implement it effectively, it's what that matters.
Yeah.
So we focus to be on ground, connected with all the stakeholders, and the focus on that how we can make this problem solve better and better and better.
Perfect. On that note, Mayank, more power to you and the purpose. It is definitely something that I'm sure whoever tunes in is going to benefit from. And I look forward to sharing this one. Thank you so much for joining me once again. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.